Welcome to the Shortwave radio channel, and well, a lot of you have been waiting for this. It's the review of the Qodosen DX 286 portable receiver. This is a long wave, medium wave, shortwave FM radio, and I've been testing all of the functionalities. There's a lot of things in here, lots of menus that you can choose, different options. It's pretty amazing. We're going to go for each band and how it performs. And of course, more tests will be done. I'll have more videos on it. A lot of people are interested in this little radio. It's around $80 on Amazon in the US. Found it for about $125 Canadian on Amazon now, which isn't too bad. And first, of course, before I do my review, I want to mention that this was sent to me free of charge by Qodosen to review and to test, and my review will be in all fairness of all my reviews, even though this radio was given to me. There will not be, I review the radios as fair as they are to be reviewed. So now, this radio, first thing that I did was the FM band, which it is right now. You could see in the display that RDS is in function. So this is a functionality of the radio. It does have RDS for those that like this option, especially when you're DXing. Pretty cool. The FM band is absolutely fantastic. The FM band is so good that this will technically be one of my primary radios to DX when there's some DXing to be done with FM ESCAP, for example. I've got on this radio stations from far away that I've never received on other radios, and I'm just blown away at how good it is. Full telescopic open, no bleed through, no overloading of any of the other stations around. This is pretty cool. And it has several bandwidths on FM, something like 17 different bandwidths from a low, if you want to, for example, squeeze in a station that would be in between two other powerful stations, you could actually reduce the bandwidth enough to just focus on the signal that you're trying to hear. And of course, in times of better audio fidelity, you can just put that bandwidth very wide, have better audio quality, especially with earphones, as the radio will be stereo. But even with the little speaker here, the audio is quite good. It's not bad at all. A lot of small radios like this do not have such rich and beautiful audio as this one does. The FM band, like I said, so amazing. It has an option also for 4 different receive options. For the FM band, it has an option where it can actually cope with signals that you might have noticed that, sometimes a plane passes by, or if you have a lot of buildings, when you move, there could be like multi-path signals bouncing off here and there on FM. And what happens is that this radio is capable in one of its modes of kind of dealing with that. And it probably comes from the fact that the radio is built on the TEF 6686 automotive radio chip. So that means that, of course, when your car moves around, it probably has a lot of these effects going on and needs to be fixed. So this radio can do it, but in a portable, which I've never seen such a feature in a portable receiver. So FM is absolutely amazing, is all I can say, and that I love. Then if we move on to other modes, then we'll talk about a medium wave band. Medium wave band is, let me just put it medium wave. So medium wave band, very good. Is it better than other radios? That's where I not really tested enough to say it's better than the good radios I have. One thing for sure, it's as good as I would expect for a radio. So medium wave is great. What's really cool, medium wave and long wave have a possible amplifier that you can turn on or off when you're using the external antenna. So you can actually use external antenna on FM. I didn't say that first, but you can use the external antenna plug on AM and long wave to extend the coverage, make better reception. And of course, then you can turn on or off the internal amplifier for the receive of a signal. So often, if you use a passive loop, for example, you might want to turn the amp on so that the radio draws even more signal. If you're using a active antenna like the MLA30, maybe you want to turn it off. Maybe it's a little too much. And you can play with these settings and see the results. Once again, turning an amplifier on/off on medium wave, long wave, I've not really seen any radios that really often give you this capability. More usually they give you attenuators and that's it, or RF gain. So medium wave is great. In terms of long wave, the coverage is really nice. The long wave starts at 144 and ends at 519. And this is as much coverage you can get pretty much from long wave for the non-directional beacons in North America. Of course, in Europe, this radio probably is great to receive some of those stations that are still on long wave, like Algeria, for example. And so medium wave is great. Long wave must be pretty good. That's where the testing is difficult because we've got like no more non-directional beacons close to here, which means that you gotta really search hard to try to find one. I did tune a little bit last night, but was not able to pinpoint one of them. So I'm going to continue, and when propagation's there, I'll make a video when I get some non-directional beacons, compare it also to other radios. And that's also something I will do, compare it to other radios. Shortwave wise, it is a great shortwave receiver. Once again, the radio covers from the bottom part of 1711 and goes up to 27,000 kilohertz. That could be one little problem. I've seen some people complain that it stops at 27,000. I can understand that stopping just short of the CB band is sad, because at 27,000 you'll only get a couple of CB channels, 1 and 2, I believe, and yeah, pretty much, or and 3 if it bleeds over. But overall, you're not getting any, anything else. It would have been nice if you do it, well, just continue up to 2999, even though this radio does not have single sideband. So the radio doesn't decode, but still you could listen to the CB band up to 27,405, and even the outer banders, a lot of them are on AM mode. And you can even listen to, you could have listened to the 10 meter AMers on 29,000 kilohertz around there. But the radio falls short. It stops at 27,000 kilohertz. It's not a big deal, but it would have been fun to stretch it a little more. The bandwidths for receive on medium wave, long wave, and short wave are great. You have the capabilities, of course, up to 8 kilohertz wide, and you can narrow it down at 3 kilohertz, depending on what you're listening to, if it's squeezed in between two other stations. The bandwidths are kind of defaulting to, when you turn off the radio, most of the bandwidths default back to their original setting. So if you turn it on, tune the same signal tomorrow, you might have to readjust that bandwidth again. It does have a ATS type scan, which looks like an ETM scan a little bit on the Texan receivers. So when you press the AM button, for example, on shortwave, you'll have a full scan. It's going to actually give you all the stations that it stopped on. It's an easy way to just look around and see what is happening on the radio bands there for sure. The missing single sideband is probably what will make some of you not buy this. I wish it would have had single sideband. I think Qodosen should make a new one, a DX 386, and add single sideband. That would become, with this type of radio, an amazing receiver. It'd be just so amazing to get that. But it's AM only, so it will serve more for the international broadcast bands on the shortwave and so on. The ETM type scan for stations is very fast, so faster than most radios I've seen. So it's actually a quick scan, really, that gives you all the station you want to listen to. One of the things that I've noticed, and it's very important to note, is that on shortwave, using the telescopic, hold the radio. Hold the radio, because if you leave it on the table, it loses sensitivity. The radio really, really uses a lot of the kind of the whole, in an antenna system, you got to have kind of a equilibrium where you'll have the antenna and you'll have also a counterpoise kind of thing where all of it is balanced and makes the best reception. It uses your body a lot. I noticed that holding it in my hand, an ATS scan will get more stations than leaving it alone on a table. So this is something that to note if you're using just a telescopic. Hold a radio. You might not find it very sensitive if you leave it on a table and be disappointed. But of course, you can put an external antenna and that fixes the whole problem. Of course, there's different types of scan speeds. So you can have the fast and the slow. Slow is usually 1 kilohertz. Fast, there's automatic, which depending on the band you are, it will default to something. And there's the stop, and there's the fast, which is 5 kilohertz, which is great. So 1 or 5 kilohertz, depending on where you want to tune. On long wave, you can go as fine as 1 kilohertz too. The audio is very strong, so that's also another option that's very, very good. This radio, once again, has a lot of menus, so each button's here and some of the buttons here will have different menus depending on the band you are. Read the manual, because some are going to say, like somebody was telling me, I don't have the option for internal external antenna. Yeah, the external antenna needs to be plugged in. If it's not plugged in, the radio menu will not default, will not give you that option. So there's all sorts of things like that you got to know and got to learn with this radio. So it's very important to check it out. The amp on-off amp is the same with external antenna, I believe, only. So, these are different options. There's the clock options. When you set up the world time, it will tell you here, it says world, because you have an option of sending it different time zones. The radio has also a short telescopic antenna, which is not very long, so you will want to use an external antenna, that for sure. But overall, you're getting such an amazing package and such a sensitive radio. Very few overload from what I've seen. I heard something, but I was wondering, maybe it's not even my radio. I need to check something with my MLA30, because I clipped even the antenna to my infant antenna in the backyard, and it just worked great. Display is beautiful, very nice. It can be lit and left on. So if I shut the radio down and I press and hold here, you're going to see that it says light on. Now I can actually turn on the radio, and the lights are going to be on all the time. Don't forget to turn the light off, because it doesn't turn off automatically. So I left one, and a couple of hours later noticed that the display was lit. So just make sure that you remember to turn off the light also at the same time. RDS, of course, on FM has all of the features of RDS, so you can scroll through the different streams, because there's kind of 4 different things that RDS information can give you. And so you can go towards all 4 different, see the type of information the FM station is giving you. This is also very nice. Volume control is giving you amplified volume that is strong enough even for outdoor noisy situations. Very powerful audio. And it's funny, because when you put the volume to 0, it actually says volume mute, and it's kind of a mute, because when you turn it back on, it takes like a second before it turns on. Yes, the unfortunate thing that a lot of people hate, it mutes when you tune. So you need to know that. As you see, there's a little chuffing. But I'll say one thing about this mute. It is so fast that it is not as much of a problem as some other radios have. Some have such a low slope, if you want, or a slow way of actually reacting back, that tuning becomes really, really cumbersome. But this one, you could still tune around quite fast and search a signal because that little cutoff point is very small. So it's like halfway between, a chuff and a normal. So for some, it might still be something that's going to annoy you, but it definitely is a muting radio. But you know what? I don't really care. It's just such an amazing performer on all of its effects. And of course, the menus you will need to learn. There's a beautiful manual that comes with it. It's well done. The manual is actually well explained. So this guide will guide you in every way possible in turning on the different functionalities. There's a memory system with a page system for storing your favorite broadcasts and so on. There's also and so many options, like I said, that you just got to go through the manual and check them out, because you'll want to turn off this, you want to turn on that, you want to learn to actually do it by heart also, because when you get somewhere and you use the radio, you will want this you'll want to know which to press to get what, and some of the buttons you press when the radio's off to turn off or on the feature. Some of the buttons you press when the radio's on to turn on or off or change an option. So all of that together makes that this system has quite a lot of little things to fix in there, including the FM band bandwidths that you can go through with the tuning knob. So it's pretty cool. Battery, radio doesn't come with a battery. Okay, and a lot of people complain on that. They take 18650 button top lithium ion batteries. They're easy to find. If you live in a city where there's a vape shop, most e-cigarettes use these 18650s actually. You can actually go online, buy them on so many places. Just make sure that you buy the good ones. Typical 18650s can't go higher than about 3,000 milliamp hour. If you see those at like 5,800 or 6,000 milliamp hour, that's fake news. It's impossible, not on an 18650. What's missing? What's missing on this radio? Well, single sideband. And that's something that I would tell Qodosen, do another one, add single sideband, and this is going to become a really amazing receiver. In all of the operations, I've never had a glitch or any problems at all. It's just a question of learning. There's a reset at the bottom if you really need to reset if something goes wrong. And like I said, audio is great. Reception is perfect everywhere and truly amazing on FM, even in a place like this where there's a lot of FM stations. I have not found any FM breakthrough in any shortwave or medium wave frequencies at all. So no single sideband, no airband. For those that are looking for those types of features on a radio, they're not on this radio. But this radio is one of the best receivers out there. And if you're looking for a little pocket radio and you don't care about single sideband, you know what? This is the one to buy. There's not even a question. This is the one you buy. Forget the Radio, forget all the others that were kind of cool, that do a decent job. This beats them all and is amazing. So the Qodosen DX 286, an amazing little shortwave, medium wave AM, FM, and long wave receiver, just blows you away. and everybody that has one just are blown away by how good this is. Hope you enjoyed the review, and hope, of course, there will be more videos of testing of all sorts of things and playing around with it. And I probably will do a series on using the different options in the menus. Maybe a visual of how to do it will sound or look, better for a lot of people, because some people like somebody else doing it. It's easier for them to see how to do it than to read a manual. And that will be definitely something that I will do for this radio, and probably do a playlist. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thanks for watching.